I'm a healer. My vocation is a healer. Yet, I'm also an artist. I do sculptures, I do paintings, large abstract format paintings, and I started very recently write electronic music, electronic dance music. So creativity, I live and breathe creativity. It's my vocation practically from the daily routine, the mundane of the world. And I feel that everybody who operate in the mind in Western society is so mind-driven. It's extremely important for us to have ability to get lost in something that takes us over, takes, as we would say, takes ego over, because we have very strong identities, and that's exactly why in my work I observe people suffer so much because we identify with conditioning. So the only way to remove this conditioning is to remove the attachment to our identity. So when we are creative, when we're in the flow of doing something that requires us to put all focus, all attention in some one single thing that is arising out of our creative work, then sense of identity falls away. The whole culture, it's a effect on the cultures is very significant because every individual brings the energy into the whole. The part reflects the whole reflects the part. So when we come with all the anxiety that modern world brings into our life, all the turbulence, all the inner agitation, we bring it into society, we bring it into groups. When we have opportunity to transcend it through creative work or through meditation, which is its own creative work, it's a dive into creation in a way. So and art, for a lot of people, creativity, the process of creativity is ultimately meditation. That's exactly when we transcend the mind, transcend the ego to a degree that anybody can, depending what they are in life at the moment. We are falling away as individual beings. We are falling away, and we come in very pure. It's as if our soul is speaking.
That sounds lovely. So what you seem to be saying is that it's the energy rather than our thinking about the energy. Like the conditioning occurs at the level of thought, at the cognitive level, whereas energy is just energy, isn't it?
Of course, and creativity is opportunity to make thinking fall away, because we don't think creatively. I mean, yes, you can say it, but creativity, it's almost something else is happening through us. It's just happening through us, takes us over, which is something that ultimately every yogi dreams of. When we sit with crossed legs in meditation, that's what we are looking for, transcendence of the mind. And it's a beautiful metaphorical way to say it, because as I see it, we are a representation of the God, the ultimate God. We are the creation, and we are vehicle, the vessels for creation to express and experience itself. So when creativity happening through us, the individual consciousness, the individual body minds almost appears to be not present. It doesn't participate. It almost feels like, and you know, we use this very often, the word channeling, right? This music that this composer wrote, he was just channeling it, right? We say it very often. Or when she's painting and you look at her, it's like she transforms and she's channeling, right? So it feels like we are channeling in the creative process some consciousness, the intelligence of the universe, the state of God through this body. And it's a beautiful dance.
And is that how you do your art, through channeling this energy that doesn't necessarily come from yourself? Like you're receiving this energy and then expressing it?
I would say that it feels like that because there is no Olga that is thinking. In the process of creation, when I start to work with material, for example, concrete or clay, I never know what I'm going to create. I might have very slight idea, some intention, but I don't know where it goes. And very often my intention and outcome of the creative work are completely different. And sometimes painting, I start, there's a blank canvas. I don't know what will happen. I drop the paint and it starts. I am not doing it. It almost moving my hands. It moves my body. It picks it. Something picks the right paint, picks the right color. As soon as I add thinking to it, from my experience, it's almost always becomes something mediocre, something that mind can easily conceive. We don't want that. We want art to be spontaneous, surprising, and provoking some response of the soul. It can be a response, a thought, we say thought provoking. We always can say, oh, this piece of art is thought provoking. So yes, we can say that, but I don't think it's thought that we provoke. I think that what we provoke some movement of the soul, some response, emotional response to that, some feelings that moves us deep into that piece of art.
Okay, all right. And I suppose a conversation is like that. If we don't know what we're going to be talking about, a conversation is a co-creation, which when it's spontaneous, brings forth ideas that we may not have imagined previously.
Absolutely. And that's, for example, when you look at speakers, you always can know when person on stage prepared the script or when they just come and vulnerably showing themselves and just share whatever comes. First, my structurally sound much better. It prepared, there's a logic a little more logic sometimes. Yet second one is the one that we connect with because it spontaneously arises and it's inner truth. It's what true right now, right in the moment. The same as in conversation. The same in any conversation because then we are fully present and this process, as you said, co-creation is unfolding very naturally. It's like a dance of two minds and two souls that otherwise wouldn't happen if, let's say, someone prepared questions and sent it to person and now it's already old. As soon as I saw questions, minute later it's old already. It's not relevant because the movement that happened in response in 1 second is not going to be relevant 5 seconds from now because there will be another movement, another thought, another opportunity to share something different.
Yeah. I agree with you. And at the same time, while there's a great deal of value in spontaneity and being receptive to co-creating, but at the same time, we need to make sure that there is a high level of quality. For example, in our case, we need to make sure that the lighting is good, that the sound is good, because even though the content of what we may be saying is very interesting for some people, if they can't hear it, it's not going to be useful for them.
Of course, absolutely. Preparation is absolutely necessary. Absolutely. What we really need to be conscious of is how our children are brought into process of creativity. It allows, and when I'm talking about childhood, because in my healing work, the big aspect of my work, you can notice how easily children get conditioned from very early stage of the development. When we include them in creative process, it allows them to unlearn conditioning on the spot. As we discussed, we lose ourselves, right? For example, when we adult, through meditation, we unlearn, we have this saying, we say, unlearn the world. Basically, learn everything that we were conditioned with, that was imposed on us, any thought forms that were imposed on us. So every time we meditate, it falls away because we see it for what it is, and it's as if it purifies us. Child, you cannot put child into process of meditation. They're moving, they're so full of life, there's so much energy, and usually I haven't seen much that parents would suggest a child to sit and meditate. I don't think it's necessary. But the creativity, the process of creation, some art forms or other ways in inventing something, the process of creation, it's a substitute for meditation. It does exactly that. It allows the child to come back into their own space of innocence, as they are innocent just at that time, and unlearn everything that just happened second ago. When we did that, to chat to a child for something or tell them how to live life, what to do, how to do. Every time we are creative, the child falls away, all the structures and all inputs falls away. So the reason I'm talking about children versus adult, because every generation brings life into the society. And I think now is more than ever important to have more attention on, you usually say it, heart field, the field of the heart, more than the mind. We became so intellectualized, and all our values are so driven around outcomes and success and goals. We became very mental.
Mm-hmm.
And because we as adults are, unless we are not, but if we are, that's how we play with our children. That's how we bring them up. So the child has no chance to experience the world otherwise than the world of the mind, the mind creates very different world than the heart or the soul, if we can say it. It's still kind of constructs and concepts, but we must use some words. So the thought forms create very different world because of the world of the ego per se. It's the world where all pain and suffering exist. In the heart, the world of the heart is the world of love, it's the world of joy. So we want to live in love and joy. And as adults, if we don't take this responsibility and transfer the right knowledge to younger generations, we are failing. Our society is failing, because what will be coming in 10, 20 years will be another layer of the world of the mind. And from my experience and experience of many other people, it's not the best world to live in. To live in the head, it's not the best place to live.
Right.